You know what it means to stand up, right? Easy. But what about stand out or stand in, stand by or make a stand? These little phrases are everywhere in everyday English, and if you don't know them, then you'll miss out on a lot of what native speakers are really saying. Now in this lesson, I'll guide you through 12 essential English expressions using stand. And at the end, I'll tell you a little story from my own experience where I use many of these expressions. Let's get started. First up, literally stand up. Now this means to move from sitting to standing. For example, please stand up when the judge enters the room. He stood up and gave a short speech. But it also has a more powerful emotional meaning. To stand up for someone means to defend or support them, especially when others aren't. She stood up for her younger sister when the boys were teasing her. It's important to stand up for what you believe in.
No, son, but if you don't stand up for yourself now, those kids are never going to leave you alone. Eddie.
And here's another useful variation. To stand up to someone means to confront them, usually someone in power or someone acting unfairly. It shows courage. He finally stood up to his boss and said the deadlines were impossible. You need to stand up to bullies or they'll keep pushing you.
I will stand up to my mom if you'll stand up to yours.
So, stand up, rise to your feet, stand up for, defend or support someone, and stand up to is to confront someone who's being unfair or aggressive. So, if your friend is being blamed unfairly, you can stand up for them. And if someone's treating you badly, it might be time to stand up to them.
I always wished I was strong enough to stand up to you.
Somebody who's taught me that there are people willing to stand up for other people no matter what it costs them.
Number 2 is stand down. This means to step away from a position of power or responsibility. We often use it in politics or formal situations. The Prime Minister stood down after losing support. But it can also be informal. I was about to argue, but I decided to stand down. It wasn't worth it.
All right, everybody, stand down.
Has it occurred to you that this crew is due to stand down in 3 months?
So, stand down equals to back away, step aside, or calm a situation down. Number 3, stand out. This means to be different in a good way, to be noticeable. Her red dress really stood out at the party. Among all the applicants, one candidate really stood out. We use it for people, clothing, performances, even food. Oh, the chocolate cake stood out on the dessert menu.
Let's just say you stand out.
I think what makes you stand out is your talent.
Now, there's another phrase you might hear. To stick out like a sore thumb. It means something stands out, but in a bad or awkward way, like it doesn't belong. He wore a tracksuit to the black tie event and stuck out like a sore thumb.
Look, I came here to disappear, not stick out like a sore thumb.
Stand out means to attract attention, usually in a positive way. Stick out like a sore thumb is to attract attention in a negative or awkward way. So if you impress people, you stand out. But if you turn up to a wedding in pajamas, you might stick out like a sore thumb. Ouch. Talking of thumbs, if you're finding this video useful so far, then please let me know by clicking the like button. Doot doot. Thank you. Number 4, stand in for someone. To stand in means to take someone else's place temporarily. I'm standing in for your regular teacher today. She stood in for the actor during rehearsals. This is great for the workplace, classrooms and performances.
She had a personal errand she had to run, so she asked me to stand in for her.
Stand in is to cover for someone who is absent. Number 5, stand by. This one has 2 meanings and they're both useful. The first is to wait and be ready. Please stand by, we'll begin shortly. The emergency team is standing by in case anything happens. You'll hear this in announcements and live broadcasts.
Tell Omaha to acknowledge and stand by.
Stand by can also mean to support someone, especially in difficult times. He stood by his friend when no one else did. They stood by each other through everything.
You're supposed to stand by your man, you know.
So, stand by, be ready, or stay loyal and supportive.
But the minute I need you, my wife, to stand by me and be patient, you betray me like this.
Next, number 6, stand aside or stand back. These both mean to move away, but in slightly different ways. Stand aside means to move to the side. Whoop. Please stand aside, let them through. Stand back means to move away, usually for safety. Stand back, it could be dangerous. You might hear this from emergency workers or parents in the kitchen.
Stand aside from the door, please.
So will you stand aside and let me get into the bed?
All right, everyone stand back.
Number 7, a standoff. This is a noun that describes a situation where 2 people or groups refuse to compromise. It's tense and neither side wants to back down. There was a standoff between the 2 football teams. After hours of negotiation, the standoff finally ended. It doesn't always involve shouting. Sometimes it's just silent tension. So, a standoff is a conflict or a power struggle.
Looks like we have ourselves a standoff.
Looks like we're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned standoff.
Now, number 8 is an adjective that's related. Standoffish. This one describes a person. Someone who is standoffish seems cold or unfriendly. They keep their distance emotionally or socially. He seemed a bit standoffish at first, but he warmed up eventually. She's nice, but she came across as quite standoffish. It doesn't always mean rude. Sometimes it's just shyness or nerves.
I just wanted to say sorry if I've been a bit standoffish.
Well, people in this town are so standoffish compared to Riverton.
Number 9, make a stand. To make a stand means to take a clear, strong position, usually when you think something is wrong or unfair and you want to change it. It's not about physically standing, it's an idiom. You're saying, I won't accept this. I believe in something and I'm going to show it. The students made a stand against the new school rules. They protested. They said, we don't agree. It's time we made a stand for equal rights. We should speak up and take action to support fairness. You can make a stand by speaking up, by protesting, by writing, or even just by saying no when something doesn't feel right. It's often used when people are trying to bring positive change, especially in schools, politics, or social movements.
We make a stand now, or there would be nobody left to go to the chopper.
Son, if we don't make a stand now, you think you're the last person that's going to be in this situation?
Number 10 is similar but very different. Take the stand. This is a legal phrase. It means to go into the witness box and give evidence in court. The witness took the stand and described what she saw. He refused to take the stand during the trial.
And if there is a trial, I want to take the stand and tell the jury that I'm innocent.
Nice try, Reggie, but I think it would be in everybody's best interest for little Mark to take the stand.
Number 11, stand for. Here we're talking about acronyms. We can use stand for when we talk about what an abbreviation or acronym represents. BBC stands for British Broadcasting Corporation. What does ASAP stand for? As soon as possible. And finally, stand for can also mean to believe in something or support a set of values. She stands for honesty and hard work. What does this organisation stand for? This is great for personal values or mission statements.
Avengers are a very unique group of superheroes that stand for something more than just fighting and wearing costumes.
Now, let me bring it all together with a quick story from my real life and see how many stand expressions you can spot. I walked into a noisy secondary school classroom trying to look confident, even though I was standing in for the history teacher who had suddenly stood down due to stress. The students were, let's just say, a bit standoffish. Crossed arms, blank stares, testing me. But I stood my ground. I wasn't going to be pushed around. I knew I had to win them over. And I knew exactly who to focus on. The leader of the group. Every class has one, and this lad really stood out. Confident, loud, always in control. So I showed him a bit of respect, but in a firm, no-nonsense way, and offered him a deal. If the class worked hard and finished their tasks, I'd give them a small reward. He nodded and agreed. As I then started the register, a few students started messing about, pretending to be each other, giving fake names. But the leader, the one I'd made the deal with, stood up to them. He told them to stop and get on with it. I glanced at the door and noticed another teacher standing by, clearly ready to jump in and rescue me if it all went wrong. But they didn't need to. I had it all under control. By the end of the lesson, every student had completed their work. I'd made a small stand, and it worked. So, what do you stand for? And which of these phrases stood out to you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like a copy of all the phrases covered, then you can get your hands on today's lesson notes by clicking on the link in the description. In the description, I'll also put links to some other useful lessons that you can carry on with right now, should you wish to. Until next time, take care and goodbye.